Andre DiMino. Andre has been recognized in New Jersey probably in every Italian club there is. Because whenever there was a situation where we needed some influence, Andre was there. On talk radio, on television programs, at universities.
So yes, my name is Andre DiMino. And just a little bit of background on my heritage. Both my parents came from Sicily, so I'm first generation. I was born in Brooklyn, that's a suburb of Sicily. I do this now. I am right now the communications director for the Italian American One Voice Coalition. And I'm coming here to you today to talk to you. I guess you say, media expert. I'm not really a media expert because I'm not in the business of media. However, I learned when I was 17 years old the power of media and the power of press. And in every single thing that you do in your life, whether it be business, an organization, if you just do handicrafts at home and you want to sell them at a flea market, if you have publicity, that's the answer to getting your word out there. Just like it says, get on the map. That's why when Bob, your chairman, asked me to come and speak, I said, yeah, I'm happy to, because I could bring to you 40 years of knowledge that I've developed personally. They're only giving me 15 minutes, so it's kind of hard to cram down 40 years of experience in publicity, but I want to tell you, it can help each and every one of you, whether you're doing an education program like Patty or you have a business. This applies to everything. So let's go through it, and I'll tell you some more of the background now. What's important about it? Why should you know about it? Because it is the single most important tool to get your word out there, to get on the map. And if you're not on the map, you don't exist, especially in today's world with the high level of 24-hour media that we have. Next up, before you get started, you have to have backgrounders. And that's what a reporter, that's what a radio station, that's what a TV station will look at first. They want to see if they're going to contact you, they're going to write something about you, they want to know if you're for real and if you're good. And the way you do that is really just two things are necessary. One is you're going to tell what your organization is about, what your course is about, what your school is about. Whatever it is, that should be on the website. And the next thing you need is that you have to have a spokesperson. You have to have somebody that can speak knowledgeably about what you do. Your PR toolbox is how you get your word out, what the message you want to get out to the world. And those things include, the number one item is a press release. And we're going to go into detail. That's number one. The most important thing is a press release. The second thing that you use is a letter to the editor, just like I did back then when I was 17 years old. I wrote a letter to the Record. So a letter to the editor is another way of getting the word out. The third one is a response email, and I'm going to show you how effective that can be. If you see something on TV, if you see a story in the paper, if you hear something on the radio, send an email to the person that was speaking. Send an email to the anchor of that show. Send an email to the reporter. If you want to make a big impact, though, you got to aim your news at hot topics. Now, what does that mean? The stuff I talked to you about before is just stuff happening in your organization. But if you see an opportunity to put a comment out about something that's happening in the news, that's where you get very large press. So in early 2009, we heard about this new show coming out called Jersey Shore. And obviously I'm very proud of my Italian heritage. And we're all subjected to that dumb stereotype of we're all connected with the mob or the mafia and so forth. But when I saw this new show coming out, I said, well, here's going to be a brand new stereotype that these young, good-looking Italian kids are all bimbos and buffoons, acting ridiculous and so forth. And I didn't want to see that new stereotype come out. So when we heard about this, we put out this press release that says, Unico demands MTV pull the plug on Jersey Shore reality series, which slurs Italian-American community. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you see at the beginning it says, calling the show a direct, deliberate, and disgraceful attack that slurs Italian-Americans. Unico National President Andre DiMino is demanding that MTV pull the plug and withdraw its Jersey Shore reality show that is planned to be debuted in December. Well, as you know, that show was pretty popular. So when I talk about a hot topic, this was a great press release to get out there. Because this show resulted in literally dozens of TV appearances on every network that was out there with us going after the show. And believe me, I believed in what we said. The show was a disgrace. That's another thing. You got to make sure that you believe in your message. And I certainly did. But that got me on to CBS, the Today Show. I was on the syndicated Inside Edition. MTV even put me on their news. Was all over the place talking about this. And that was because we saw an opportunity here with a show that was popular and we expressed our objection to it, and we got that press out there. This letter to the editor, after it appeared in the record, was picked up by Time magazine, was picked up by a few places, and also resulted. Now this was a couple of years later, but this also resulted in nationwide press, radio appearances, television, and so forth. So you saw the first one was the press release. This is the second one, was the letter to the editor. Now this is a response email. Now, I don't do this full time. My Italian work is my love and my pride and my heritage and so forth, but what I do for a business, I run a medical device company. We design and manufacture medical electronics. I myself am an engineer. I've been designing medical electronics for over 40 years. I have a company in Northvale, New Jersey. And so I don't normally use this for my Italian-American work, but this is just to show you that if you have a business, this can help your business too. A couple of years ago, there was a medical device tax that was being proposed that came out that was going to tax medical device companies only. That was part of the whole Affordable Care Act. And there was a program, I don't know if you remember Greta Van Susteren, she happened to be on Fox, and she was talking about how, how could these medical device companies be complaining about this tax? All these fat cat CEOs making all their money at the same. I said, hey, wait a second. I have a little company with 24 employees up in Northville, New Jersey. Although I'm large, I'm not a fat cat, all right? And I wasn't making the millions of dollars that they were talking about. So I just sent her an email. And I just told her that respectfully, I must tell you that you're way off base on your comments about the new medical device tax being a special interest issue. And I told her that I'd be happy to talk to her about it. Well, sure enough, the next day, I got a call from a producer of her show. And that producer, now, by the way, on all these things, you have to be respectful. You don't use names or bad language or anything. Be respectful, but firm. And that's what, if you read this, I'll send it to you if you want. That's exactly what it is. And she invited me on her show, and I was actually able to talk to her on the show. And she said, all right, have at it, tell me why I was wrong. And I explained to her how I was a little company, I had 24 people relying on me to run this company, and this is certainly not a special interest, that there were 2 million people employed in the medical device field, and that 80% of those people work in companies with 50 people or less. You have to have your facts ready when you're going to talk. And so she apologized at the end, and she admitted that she was wrong in saying that this was a special interest group. But that appearance on Greta's show, I was asked to go on to CBS. I was then asked to go on to CNN.